Recently, the head of India's Defense Research and Development Organization made a highly unusual public admission. His agency is fully ready to launch the Agni-6. For years, India maintained a careful public stance regarding its long-range strike capabilities. Officially, the government capped the range of their previous flagship missile, the Agni-6, at around 5,000 kilometers. By reporting a lower limit, New Delhi avoided alarming its allies in Europe and Russia. But recent conflicts in the Middle East have exposed the critical vulnerability in strictly defensive strategies. Even advanced air defense networks frequently fail to intercept saturated drone and missile swarms. Debris and warheads still impact major urban centers, despite the presence of sophisticated interceptor grids. When incoming barrages have a success rate higher than 0%, a strategy that depends entirely on catching every single projectile will eventually result in the failure of critical infrastructure. Possessing an ICBM shifts the calculus from defense to deterrence. If a nation cannot rely on stopping every incoming drone or missile, its safety depends on being able to hold the source of those weapons at risk, even if that source is located on an entirely different continent. This brings us to the specifications of the Agni-6. We're looking at a jump from a 5,000-kilometer regional weapon to a global strike asset with an operational radius between 10,000 and 12,000 kilometers. When mapped, the implications are immediate. The first ring covers the entirety of the Chinese landmass. Past 10,000 kilometers, the second ring swallows Africa and extends across Europe. At 12,000 kilometers, the boundary crosses the Pacific, placing the U.S. mainland within direct strike path. Oceans and extreme distances have protected Western nations for decades. This mathematical expansion in reach removes that geographic buffer. Historically, only a handful of nations have operated weapons of this magnitude. The United States maintains the Minuteman III, which has a maximum range of 14,000 kilometers. Russia fields the Sarmat, a heavy intercontinental missile designed to travel up to 18,000 kilometers. These arsenals exist to ensure that any major conflict results in mutual destruction. China relies on the Dongfeng series, which provides Beijing the reach to hold the U.S. mainland directly at risk. Classified reports circulating among global intelligence chiefs indicate that India's defense sector has engineered this same tier of technology. But possessing a capability in a lab is different from proving it in flight. A successful, verified test of the Agni-6 would conclude the exclusive monopoly held by the traditional 5 nuclear powers. This leaves a glaring question. If the DRDO Chief states the hardware is ready, why has the Indian government delayed the launch? Testing a weapon with a 12,000-kilometer range requires precise geopolitical timing. New Delhi is monitoring global tensions, waiting for an international climate where they can demonstrate this power without provoking an immediate hostile response from Washington or Brussels. India can afford this strategic patience. They already maintain secondary strike options, including nuclear-armed underwater platforms that provide deterrence against regional threats. India occupies a specific geopolitical position. While the United States routinely applies sanctions against other nations attempting to build intercontinental delivery systems, Washington has remained quiet regarding India's missile program over the last 2 decades. The technology is fully built and ready. All that remains is the moment the Prime Minister issues the formal announcement that an Agni-6 has successfully cleared the launch pad. Within minutes of that test, international news networks from CNN to Fox News will be forced to adjust their global threat maps in real time. The Agni-6 provides the delivery mechanism for a nuclear warhead to reach almost any point on the globe. With this capability, the geographical distance that once separated India from the world's most powerful nations effectively disappears, forcing a shift in how global powers account for Indian interests.